This is episode 5 of the Sturry Link Road project. It's a slower start to the week, not in activity, but in how that progress presents itself. Across the site, work continues at pace. Deliveries arrive in volume, materials are moved into position, and the groundwork quietly advances. These are the stages that don't always stand out, but they're what allow everything else to follow. As the week develops, that progress becomes more visible. Traffic management returns, access routes begin to take shape, and by the end of the week, key sections are completed ahead of the bank holiday. A shorter week, but one that sets the direction for what comes next. Flying over the compound this week, you can see activity across the site. A digger is working on the Type 1 stone, while a roller compacts the layers in place. The archaeology work appears to be complete, though some beaver mitigation is still ongoing. Further along, Terram and Geogrid have been rolled out, gradually extending the prepared surface as the site continues to take shape. Hovering over the riverbank, you'll notice a recently felled tree. The trunk has been removed, but the stump has been deliberately left in place and retained as a feature. Being so close to the river's edge, removing it completely could risk weakening the bank, so leaving it helps maintain stability while the site work continues. Here, the site boundary has shifted. Access fencing has been moved outward, extending the working area across this section. This area is being prepared to become a piling platform. Over the coming days, a considerable volume of stone will be brought in to build it up. For now, the changes are subtle, but they mark the start of a much more significant phase. We'll follow that as it develops in the next episode. Now the excavators are moving across the archaeological areas, backfilling the cutouts left from earlier investigations. You can see the ground shaped into a series of L's and irregular forms. This work signals the end of the archaeological phase, returning the site to a level ready for construction machinery. Moving back over to the haul road near the Mercedes garage, The build-up here is already noticeably deeper. This section is being constructed to around 1/2 meter in thickness, forming the main access through the site. Further ahead, that depth will increase again as it approaches the piling platform, something we'll return to in the next episode. At this point, the route narrows. With the river Stour on one side and a stream running along the other, space is limited. A timber bogmat will be installed here to allow deliveries to pass safely through. Until then, materials are being double-handled to move them beyond the restriction. At the bell mouth, where the site connects to the A28, work is now focused on shaping the access into the compound. An excavator is grading out the surface, preparing it ahead of the next stage. This section will be brought up to level and finished with tarmac later in the week. Traffic management will return to allow that work to be carried out safely. For now, it's about getting the levels right, setting the base for what follows. As mentioned earlier, this is the main haul road, and along this section, work is still ongoing. Tippers continue to bring in Type 1, building up the surface, while rollers follow to compact it into place. Excavators move up and down the route, shaping and levelling as each layer goes in. Dumpers are running back and forth along this stretch, keeping material moving in a steady cycle throughout the day. From the road, it might not look like much is changing day by day, but from what I see and record across the week, it's a very different story. This entire section of haul road will be built up to around 1/2 meter in depth, creating a stable surface capable of supporting the heavy cranes and equipment as they move through the site. By midweek, attention turns to surfacing as tarmac begins going down within the compound area. Around the cabins and site facilities, preparation gives way to finishing work, with surfacing crews moving in. A hotbox feeds the paving machine, maintaining a steady supply of material as it's laid and spread across the compound. Lorries continue to arrive, keeping the operation moving as the area starts to take shape. Working across the site, Conway carry out the tarmacking of the compound and car park, marking a clear step forward in establishing the site's operational base. Also midweek, traffic management is put in place, with temporary lights set up along this section of the road. This allows work to continue safely while maintaining access for pedestrians. The area ahead had been temporarily surfaced over the weekend to remove any trip hazards. Now, with traffic controlled, that section is being broken back out, ready for the next stage of works. And just a brief moment from sight. As this section is broken out, a sizable piece of tarmac is lifted clear and dropped into the bucket cleanly. A quick glance over and a nod of approval. One of those small moments on site where everything goes exactly to plan, especially when the camera's rolling. Following the breakout, surfacing gets underway as the paver moves in to start laying the first stretch of tarmac. Like previously, the crew work in sync to keep the operation moving, with a hotbox lorry reversing in to feed the machine and maintain a steady flow of material. Close behind, the roller follows through, compacting the surface as this section begins to take its final shape. Along the edge of the school field, early ecological works have been taking place ahead of construction. Vegetation has been carefully trimmed in sections to encourage reptiles to naturally move out of the area, following standard mitigation practices. At the river pinch point, similar measures are being used along the banks, this time to displace water voles in a controlled and humane way. All of this is carried out under the supervision of a licensed ecological clerk of works, with each area checked and signed off before any further work begins. It's a necessary step, making sure the site is cleared responsibly before construction moves in. Coming to the end of the week, there's a noticeable shift in activity. Machinery starts moving out onto the island, with some of the smaller features, gate posts and sections of boundary being carefully taken out. There's a bit of targeted clearance as well, opening up the area and making space. Nothing dramatic on the surface, but it's all part of setting things up, getting the ground ready for the next phase as work picks up again next week. Through this week, progress has been steady and deliberate. At the Bellmouth, around 400 tons of tarmac have gone down, forming the first surface. Most of the Type 1 aggregate, 500 to 1,000 tons a day, has been delivered further along the Hall Road, keeping the wider site moving. Ecological works at the school field and river pinch point have ensured reptiles and water voles are safely displaced before construction continues. Small but important changes, fencing adjustments, early clearance, machinery moving into position are quietly building momentum. Now, at the edge of the Hall Road, looking ahead to the next phase, the ground is set. What comes next will be far more visible.